when you ask, who determines like what
Right.
policies you follow, really, again, go back to the intellectual foundation of the organization is Hayek, von Mises, all these Austrian economists who
This way. Yeah.
who have basically it's an economic school of thought which this organization came out of. So it's really even less political.
It's more economic.
It's more economic, but we use politics to pursue economic policies. If that
Right.
makes sense. So James Buchanan and all these smart guys. And of course, we have PhD economists on staff who are more the intellectual driving forces of how von Mises and Hayek would fit into the policy debates today.
Right.
But so if you read like Thomas Sowell, Basic Economics, that's anything Thomas Sowell writes is pretty good indicator of where we are, I guess.
And what do you think about the actual, on a more like less specific note, the actual just movement itself, and the type of people that it's presenting? Because one thing I've noticed is I can go up to a Tea Party crowd and find 3 people who believe in who sort of coalesce around small government, but believe in completely different things. One person who just wants less taxes, and one who thinks Obama was born in Kenya.
I mean, it's so. Who are these guys?
I would just think what because what I've noticed is there's sort of been a lot of euphemisms in the movement. You can't say Obama is black and he's not fit to be leader, but you can say he's a communist and he was born in Kenya, therefore he's illegitimate. To what extent have you seen racial overtones sort of euphemized in the crowds? Because the signs are there, the swastikas are there, all these things are there.
There are fringe groups in any political ideology, and that's what's happened with this one. And the media,
birthers are a fringe.
And that's not an issue that we handle. We don't go on stage and say, well, Obama's illegitimate.
Right.
We go on stage
because then the argument stops there.
Right. I mean, we go on stage and say, his policies are bad and will be destructive toward America and its economy.
Right.
I mean, this racial sort of question about the crowd should have been put to rest when we organized the big march on D.C. where by different estimates, 100,000 to 1.7 million, God knows how many people were there. But
that's a big gap.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but a lot of people were there.
Right.
We had
of
over,
course.
13 conservative African American speakers who were cheered, and no one was. I mean, there's this report of this question about the makeup of the crowd, and certainly you're gonna have people here and there, pockets of people that may have some signs that are offensive or whatever, but the vast majority of these people were cheering all of these black speakers whose message they agree with. So if it was all a bunch of racists, then would they ever allow
It's about
that?
policy, not about the person promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
America fought healthcare reform 15 years ago when Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton proposed these same terrible plans.
Right.
And
not
again,
about Obama,
but a lot of the discourse you saw then, but then you didn't see Obama dressed up or you didn't see Bill Clinton dressed up in tribal gear and these signs that said with like snapshots from Auschwitz, and things like that.
One sign out of a few thousand is the one that gets the coverage, and that's a very small.
Most of those are with Lyndon LaRouche crowd who was there.
LaRouche, yeah.
They're
I thought that was a
socialists.
local thing, and then I saw that it was like everywhere because I saw it in New York at like the post office.
Yeah, no, they're nutty left, and they happen to be on the left, and they'll tell you that, but they don't like Obama.
They're just so far left that they just
they don't like Obama, they don't like Bush. But I will say on the sort of the caricatures, President Bush, when people were protesting the war, you had these people that just said awful, nasty things, and does that mean that all anti-war people were awful, nasty people? No, a lot of my libertarian friends were against the war in Iraq, but they weren't attacking the president personally and sort of asking for people to kill Dick Cheney. So, I mean, you go into the crowd, you're going to get a lot of mix of people. You're going to get people that are libertarian, people that are independent conservatives, people that are businessmen, fiscal conservatives, and then you're going to get people that are more like, ideological who come out of, it's a mix of people, but it's when you're organizing around what you believe in basically and what you oppose, that's what you're going to get is a wide swath of people.
True.
And I think that's actually one thing that characterizes this movement is it's not just one, it's not one party, it's not one ideology, it's a lot of people who they're upset about what's going on right now in Washington.
And it's generally just big government. It's debt first, it's deficit second, it's spending, it's taxes, it's energy, cap and trade,
Right.
or healthcare. So.
And so Dick wasn't there. I was so upset that Dick wasn't there.
Yeah, well, we
I was
too.
so excited, like waiting for that shot, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah,
no Dick.
bad weather down.
Bad weather. Yeah.
And actually, Adam's calling me out. Hello.
So.